Welcome to English with Abby and Torai. I'm Abby, and welcome to day 10, the final day of our English course called Level Up Your English. This course is for intermediate learners, those who are at a B1 level, and those who want their English to get better, those who want to take their English to the next level. If you don't know what I'm talking about, click the link in the description to go to the full course and watch all 10 days. And if you do know what I'm talking about, congratulations, you have made it through all 10 days of our English course, and I can guarantee your English has gotten much better. Today, we will talk about how to best practice English every day. Some best practices for how to practice English every day, why it is important, and then we'll finish with a 30-day challenge. So first, we'll talk about the 5 pillars of practice, each piece of practicing English every day. And then we'll talk about how to create a weekly plan in order to take your English to the next level. And if you don't have a plan, you probably won't do it. And then finally, we will talk about doing a 30-day challenge, which we'll do together. We will post in the community post each day a new challenge for you, a way to practice your English that day. So we will start with the 5 pillars of practice. Let's talk about the 5 pillars of practice. Each of these 5 things are important to incorporate or put into your practice schedule, into practicing English. All you really need is 10 to 15 minutes a day. 10 to 15 minutes every day. That's all you really need in order to grow your English. And if you practice 10 to 15 minutes a day each week, that's 2 hours a week that you are practicing English. And so that will count towards how your English will grow. So we can start with listening. When you listen to something in English, you can spend 5 to 10 minutes or 15 minutes doing this. And you can use things like podcasts. Podcasts are free. YouTube, obviously, in this case, is also free, and you can watch or even listen to podcasts on YouTube. There are so many English-speaking people who have YouTube channels where they cook something, or they tell stories, or they show you how to do something, or they interview people, and you can watch them in English to grow your English. And then speaking, this might be a little bit more difficult, but you can speak to yourself. You can practice speaking out loud, and then also you can record yourself on your phone or computer, and then you can play it back and hear how you sound. And then we have reading. Reading, of course, is important, as we talked about in the video on how to read better in English. You can read things like the news on something like BBC, or you can read stories. There are a lot of places on the internet to find free materials or free stories in English. Or you can read articles like magazine articles or other newspaper articles that you can find for free on the internet in English. There are many places to find reading in English. The 4th is writing. For writing, you can keep a journal, practice writing maybe 3 sentences a day, or even write for 3 to 5 minutes. And when you are writing, focus on correct grammar, spelling words correctly, and also new vocabulary words. I know spelling in English is very difficult. it is very difficult for native English speakers as well. Spelling in English is not intuitive, which means it doesn't just make sense. You have to know how the word is spelled. And so if you don't know how to spell a word, you can look it up in a dictionary, or you could Google it to see how it should be spelled correctly. The final pillar of practice is vocabulary. Try and learn 3 new words per day. That's what this means. 3 new words per day. 3 new words a day. Every day, learn 3 new words. You can write them down. You can practice reading them. You can speak them. You could even try and listen to them. If you go to dictionary.com, someone or the computer will read it out loud for you. So these are our 5 pillars of practice. Now let's look at how to create a weekly schedule. For a weekly schedule, you don't have to do all 5 of the 5 pillars we talked about every day. You don't. You can do it in pieces, whichever works easiest for you. So I have a sample schedule here, and this schedule only covers the weekdays, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So on the weekends, you could take a break, or you could choose what you want to do. Maybe watch a movie in English, or try watching a TV show in English as a good challenge. So for a sample weekly schedule, this is using the time of 10 to 15 minutes a day. So on Monday, you could listen to a podcast, which could take 15 minutes. You could listen to a piece of a podcast. You could listen to more if you wanted to. There are podcasts of all different lengths, obviously. And so Monday would be listening. And then Tuesday, you could practice speaking for 5 minutes and then also learn 3 new vocabulary words. So you could practice speaking to yourself, or you could record yourself and then listen to it back, and then also learn those 3 new vocabulary words. And this would be about 10 minutes. So here we have the speaking portion and the vocabulary portion. On Wednesday, you could read an article, something that you find, a passage or an article or a newspaper or something. And so this would cover reading. And then after you read it, you could write a summary. And when you write a summary, it means you write what the whole article was about. So you could write this summary in 2 to 3 sentences. And that would take about 15 minutes on Wednesday. Then on Thursday, you could watch a video you find on YouTube, or some other video that you find. You could watch a video and then you could repeat the sentences back. And if you repeat them out loud, then that is speaking as well. And so we have more speaking practice. The final day on Friday, you could review the vocab words. Vocab is short for vocabulary. So review the vocab words you learned on Tuesday. And then also record your voice. Record saying the words, record using the words in a sentence. And that could all be done on Friday, which would take about 10 minutes. And so you see, if you create a schedule, if you have a plan, you are more likely to do it, especially because it will only take 10 to 15 minutes each day.